Hey guys, what's up? Can you hear me? Probably won't be able to see me yet, and I'll tell you for why. I wanted to come online on time, but this place is an avalanche waiting to happen. So just until I've tidied up a little bit, this is going to be a radio show, just for a bit. So I can already see there are people starting to join, yes. So do feel free to chat away while I try and figure this all out. Um, I've got myself into a right tiz in this room, I swear. Because I have my lovely, lovely new home at Unravel and Unwind. I don't spend a lot of time in the home studio unless I'm coming in to pick some stuff up. And sorry, Crinkle Crinkle, that's what I'm doing. I rarely come in unless I'm picking up stuff to bring to the studio and or dumping off bags that I've brought home from the studio. So I have a lot of packing and unpacking to do at the moment, and a lot of stuff just kind of gets unceremoniously chucked wherever it lands. And it's landed right in the view of my table camera. So I am going through all of this lovely stuff that really ought to be in the bin. Why isn't this in the bin? I'll never understand my way. I mean, I just explained to you why it's not in the bin, but oh gosh, really? Oh, this is crazy. This is like I'm gonna need to excavate. I will not be long, I promise you. And I'll just let you know what we are going to be getting up to today. Oh gosh, every single time I see something in this room, I think, okay, that's something else to add to the list. I need to do that. So that's happening right now. What I'm doing today is I got taken in by something I saw online. I know it happens to all of us crafters occasionally, but this was something that's along the lines of something I already do, but it was kind of an expansion into looking at it differently. Ooh, are you mystified yet? Hopefully, chat amongst yourselves in the chat while I do this little tidying up here. I know it's really sad it's taking this long, and all I'm doing is making a little hole so that the camera view is clear. Anybody got a shovel? Gosh, this is so bad. I'm a messy, messy no. Yeah, so I'll just tell you. I've been doing a lot of work with 3D flowers. I love all different methods of making 3D flowers, and I've really sort of got into it. But I noticed that there were some stamp sets with matching dies, which I love, that have been released over the last sort of year or two that I haven't really jumped on. And since I've got sort of 3 gift-giving holidays coming up all in a row, Valentine's Day, Mother's Day, and my birthday, I thought that I would treat myself to some of these new, well, not so new actually, stamp and die sets, and thank the gift giver later for it, because, he feels better about that because he doesn't have to go out shopping for me, and I've got exactly what I want. It's win-win all round. Hooray! Nearly done here. I will be joining you on video very shortly. Please don't be traumatized. I'm not looking my best today. But you know what? That's the thing about craft. It doesn't judge. You don't have to dress up for craft. Craft accepts you no matter what. Much like food or pets. Oh, all the things I love. Oh, I found another one of those thingies. It's going to be one of those days, folks. It's just, do you remember ages back when I was playing with the mini jelly plates? Well, they're still kind of sitting in a tower sandwiched between all of my very useful rubber stamping blocks. And unfortunately, they're rendering my stamping blocks useless because these jelly plates are stuck to them. So I am slowly but surely finding the packaging to all these jelly plates so that I can put them back where they go. I'm still missing one little piece of sticky stuff, or not so sticky stuff. It's just a little piece of like acrylic or acetate that I need to stick onto the other side of this particular little plate. I'm not going to look for it now because now is my date with you. So I will be joining you shortly. Or, I don't know, presently, I think they sometimes say, don't they? Now, have I got everything I need for the day? Not really, but that's all right. I guess it's part of the show, right? Let's see. Now I have to do all of my clickety-click stuff. So, sorry about the clicking. But I kind of need to do that. I need to adjust the composite. Oh, here I am. Hi. Sorry, I'm looking at the studio view. You can't see this. I need to adjust my table cam because every time I use my table cam, I'm somewhere else. And once I've unplugged one and plugged the other one in, it doesn't work anymore. So, fun. And they're both the same camera. So I have to like click on some different camera and have it go, oh, I can't find that one. And I go, oh, well, it was this one. Can you see it now? And it can, and everything's fine. So that's where we're at right now. I have nearly got a good field of vision going. And there it goes. Transition. Bam. Hi, everybody. I'm here. Right. That's much better. Excellent. So here we are. I am Sai. This is a stream for Unravel and Unwind. It's Tuesday Hangout, and we are in my home studio today. And today we are going to be playing, but first, of course, the beverage. Dun dun dun. I'm gonna confess something to you guys right now, and I'm gonna put it right up there. Look at that. Ooh, so you can see me. I'm going to confess that I have done something that might just be evil, really evil, okay? I've mixed tea and coffee in the same mug. I'm just going to give you a second to ruminate on that. I'm drinking it. I'm still smiling. It can't be that bad. It's interesting. I was making a coffee in my coffee press, and I just thought, you know what, I'm going to add some praline flavored tea to that so that I can have praline flavored coffee. But actually, it's praline tea flavored coffee, but it's still good. So I consider that a win. And I used a very large mug. Look, it's the size of my head. And so, thirst quenched, it is time to move on. So, today, that's my mouse. Ooh. Today, I have got Heartfelt Creations matching stamps and dies. And I'm really proud of myself, can I just say, because I've managed to fit so far all of my Heartfelt Creations stamp and die sets into a Birchbox. Ha! For those of you who don't know what Birchbox is, it's like a subscription box with like makeup and skincare and fun stuff. And they give you these very nice high quality boxes, and I can't bear to throw them away, but being a crafter, I have so many things that need organizing anyway that I am using my Birchboxes. Good thing that's happened recently is the Birchbox has actually become a Birch drawer. So there are boxes like this with lids, and there are drawers, and I'm going to stack the drawers up and glue them together and go all mixed media on it and make it really awesome. But that's going to be sort of custom storage for other smaller pieces that are, you know, that would fit in a box this size. And I can just grab it and take it with me. I love this. And it was just, you know, a free sort of knock-on effect of something else I do. So I'm happy. Win-win. Yay me. Okay, so let's show you what's up with these. Now, this one is called the Botanical Rose. No, it's not. It's the classic rose set. I get confused, you know. And these are the dies that come with it. So they don't come with, you buy them separately. This is a stamp set, and it's got all these little, you know, rubber stamps on of flowers and leaves. And then on the back where I've put it, I've used a sticky backed magnetic sheet to stick it onto the stamp holding sheet. And I've got all of the dies that match the stamps. So if you look, you stamp the item and then you cut the design out and it matches exactly. So that is part of what we're doing today, is that we're going to cut them out. But beyond that, we are also going to be coloring and shaping them. It's going to be fun. And because the weight of the paper recommended is different, the whole shaping process is actually different from what I normally do with ordinary copy paper. So yeah, blazing new trails, as it were. So I'll just show you what I've got. I've got this classic rose set, and I have this one, which is called Sun-Kissed Fleur. And the cool thing about this is all the stamps are on one die, are on one sort of stamp. And the die, which is supposed to be on the back there, it isn't. There it is. It's all one die as well. So you just crank it through the machine once and you've got all of those shapes done in one pass, which is a time saver. And this one I'm particularly happy about, very happy about, because this is a design that I had a very hard time finding. And if you want to find it, if you get it on Amazon, it's going to cost you way over the odds at about £85. Too much money. And this set was limited edition and it is discontinued now. It's called Tattered Blooms or Tattered Blossoms, something like that anyway. And this one is still made in the Spellbinders colors. And this is the pink is the Heartfelt Creations colors. But these Tattered Blossoms, they don't sell anymore. I went directly to the manufacturer's site and they're gone. But someone was willing to sell theirs on eBay for a reasonable price, so I got them and I'm thrilled with them. These hadn't even been opened. The package was sealed. These came on a sheet, but they're just like new. So I'm very happy. I got them for what the ordinary sets cost new. I got these for. And they're being sold at a ridiculous premium elsewhere because they are discontinued. I'm happy though, I've got that. And a friend of mine has been decluttering her place and she found a set that she doesn't want anymore, so I'm getting another one. So excited. So anyway, let's keep these out of the box. Pardon me. Okay, so next thing we need for this is we need our die cutting machine. I'm using excuse me. I am using that. It is a Cuttlebug V2. It's cool. It's a nice one. If you're in the market for a full-size die cutting machine, this one is really nice. The reason that I like this one is because it doesn't take up a lot of space. It just folds up and you can just shove that onto a shelf. And even the handle folds in. You see, it comes up like that, and then you swing, like that. But even that folds right in and you don't have to worry about it. And when you pull out the cutting platforms to use it, it activates a suction thingy underneath it that's supposed to keep it quite straight. But here it is. It's like a suction thing, and if you put it on a hard surface, it does actually suck it right up down to the surface, which is great. It does not need to be, because it's got this handle on the top. You hold that handle while you crank everything through, you're fine. So that's what we're going to be using to cut with. I'm going to fold it back up though. I've got my collection of plates and shims that I use with the machine, which I can explain, but I don't know if I need to. So let's do that in a minute. but for now, it is stamping time. So I'm gonna go grab some paper. This paper over here I don't like. Let's see. What's this one? Paper or card? What's paper? I don't want paper. It shouldn't be this difficult to find paper. Oh dear. Silly. Silly, silly me. I guess I'll have to open a new pack. That's terrible. That's not it. Okay. This is what I use. It says that it's 160 GSM. Now, this is a very close approximation of the weight of the paper that they use. In America, they do, and that's where the Heartfelt Creations is from. It's from America. They have a different system of paper weights than we do. We use GSM, which is grams per square meter. And they use something called, like they use pounds, right? And this is what I don't quite get, okay? This stuff, which I now have to try and open. Come here. All right. This stuff is 160 grams per square meter. In America, they've got this stuff called 100-pound paper. And I think it's that a certain number of sheets of a certain size weighs 100 pounds or something like that. And that's why they call it that. But this is approximately that weight. I went and I looked at a conversion chart the other day, and it said that 100-pound text paper, which is this, they have two separate settings, one for text stock, one for cover stock. Text stock paper that's 100 pounds is apparently 147 GSM, so this isn't much thicker than what they were using, but we'll see. I do have something here that's a bit thinner, but I don't think I like the finish on it. It's a little bit waxy, and I don't know if that's going to help or hinder the process we're about to get into. So we'll see, shall we? Let's start with the 160 because that's what I use the most. And that's what I'm hoping is going to work. Okay, what else do I need for this? Hopefully that's all I need for this because I think I've left all of my other stuff somewhere else. I'm so prepared today, aren't I? I'm always so prepared. Okay, so let's have a look then. I want to start with I'll do this big one. Whoops! I really should put some more metal on that because it doesn't stick, does it? No, it's too heavy. It doesn't want to stick. Anyway, so we're going to use that die, and therefore we are going to use that stamp. All right, so I'll put my die over here for later, and then, you know what, I'm not even going to take this stamp off of this. I'm just going to use it on here, mainly because all my stamp things are downstairs because I had them at the studio yesterday. That's how organized I am. Okay, so let's have this Vintage Sepia VersaFine. There you go. Vintage Sepia VersaFine ink. VersaFine ink is great. It's like an oil-based pigment ink, and it really picks up fine detail, which is why they call it VersaFine. So I'm going to just have a little ink it up. Always take your time when you're inking up a stamp. Last thing you want is for the stamp to not be inked to your satisfaction and you get a bad impression. So I'm just going to flip that right over, and I'm going to stamp it. I'm going to lay it down. The key to stamping a large image like this is to always keep one hand at least on the stamp and make sure that it doesn't hop anywhere. Okay, and make sure that you get pressure on all parts of the stamp. If you're worried about the surface that you're stamping onto, like this, you can get like a really thick, dense foam, and that will make up for any uneven patches on your surface. So let's see. Hopefully this one's come out okay. Lift. Yeah, it has. Now that is fantastic. Looks great. I'm very happy with it. Okay, what's next? What's next is that I'm going to have to cut this. I'm the only crafter in the world that doesn't have like a cutter thing. Okay, look, I've got my little cutter bee. I'll just use that, okay? There we go. Use my cutter bee. Normally I would have one of those slidey paper trimmers with me. I don't today, but you know what, whatever works. So, I've got that. I'm just gonna give it a minute because VersaFine ink does take just a bit to dry. It's lovely. Okay, so we'll get out our Cuttlebug and open out the platform. And then we need to put our plates on in the right order. So we need our A plate. That's the base plate. It's quite a thick plate, see? Nice big thick base plate. We need A. And then because we are cutting, we need the C plate for wafer thin dies. Because there's all sorts of different thicknesses of die on the market, and these are considered wafer thin metal dies. And they don't have any padding within them at all. And then I've learned that I need a little bit extra padding on it, so I use a couple of sheets of card. One is the packaging from this Tesco card, and that's quite a good card to use actually. Other card brands are available, but your cheapest option is actually that pack I just showed you that I took that card out of, which is actually from Hobbycraft, and we are affiliates of Hobbycraft. So if you go over to our website, which at the moment can be found at unravelandunwindcic.wordpress.com, click on the menu item that says places where we shop, and one of them is Hobbycraft. If you click on Hobbycraft through that site, we'll get a little kickback if you buy anything. So think of us next time you do your craft shopping. So I'm going to put these shims on here like this. All right, so after you've done that, then you put your, we have to position the die on the paper. So let's do that next. Oh, can you see this? Let's swap angles here. There we go. You can see me now, right? So the good thing about this die, and they've redesigned them since the early days, the cutting edge is really, really close up here to, it is right on the actual edge of the die. Normally there's a space. I'll show you, these ones probably have a space. Yeah, look, do you see the lines? The lines are the cut lines. And there's this sort of gap here between the cut line and what you can see through the dies. So you need a positioning guide for these ones. But for these, you can just look right through them and make sure that they're positioned correctly. So that's what we're going to do next. Let me see if I can bring my camera down just a little bit so you can see what I'm doing. Here we go. Right. So now the cutting side has to go against, see the cutting side here? It's the ridgy bit. Has to go down, pointing into the paper like this. And then all you do is you position your cutting die so that it's going to cut on or near the lines, hopefully. There it is. It looks like I've got a good positioning on that now, and I'm just going to take a tiny little piece of tape. This is not the kind of tape you should use, but I'm going to use, I got this. It's okay. Okay, don't move. Don't move. I highly recommend you use Scotch tape. Oh, look, Scotch tape. I just saw some. Ah, okay, I got it. Scotch tape or any low tack tape. And just tape bits of this to the card, just so that as you roll it through the machine, it doesn't shift. Okay, there we go. All right, so I've got a couple bits of tape on there. 2 should do it. And then what you do is you put that into the machine, cutting side up. And then you put your top plate on. That's the B plate. Mine is very creased, as you can see. It's been cut many, many, many times. And that's okay. You know, it'll still work. So that's your sandwich. A plate, C plate, shims, die, cutting side up, paper, top plate. All right? It sounds complicated, but you just get used to it after a while. Right, so, sorry, I'm cranking it through now. And I'm getting some resistance off the machine, which is good because that tells me that I'm going to have a nice cut. And I do. Look at this. There you go. It's not exactly right. It's just a little bit off, but I like it. Let's see. So I think I should just be able to whack this and get my flowers out, yeah, for the most part. All right. So let's just put those down there. I'll get this out of the way. And we'll just keep popping them out. Now, when this comes out, you can just take the tape off. If you're going to be cutting a lot, I recommend that you just leave the tape on so that you can position the next one. Right, so that's that. Excellent. So we've got some bits here now. Okay. Okay, the next step, now that we've got all our flowers cut in one swift pass of the machine, our next thing is to color these flowers in. Now, what's recommended is to color them in with chalk ink and a sponge dauber. So let me just grab my chalk ink. Ah, this might be a good opportunity, actually. Let's see. Yeah, I think we're going to do this. I love this pad. I don't use it very often, and as a result, it's probably drying out. This is a Color Box Petal Point Fluid Chalk Pad. And the good thing about this one is it is a very large pad with lots of different colors in it, but you can take each individual piece out and use it on its own. If you want, of course, you could, you know, ink a whole big stamp on it, but I don't like to do that. So let's get inking then. What color shall we use? I quite like this one and that one. So is that blue? What is that? That's ice blue. This is dark peony, orchid pastel, wisteria, warm violet, lavender, blue iris, and Prussian blue. So there's nice options there for us. I think I'll go for the purpley ones though. Maybe these 3 here, and we'll see what we get from it, because I do like the I like the iris color as well. So let's start with a dark color, I guess. You're supposed to start with light colors. Let's start with light colors. Right, so I think if you look at this flower, the lines on it are an indication of what's a darker area and what's a lighter area. And I would say that this area with the less lines on it is probably a lighter area of the flower, because that's probably where the light would reflect off of it. So you can't really see a lot of color coming off of this. It's because these pads are old, but the thing I like about old ink pads is that you can just use them as sponge daubers because there's not a lot of ink left on them, and the ink blends quite well. So I'm enjoying that. Tip of the pad is quite good as well to get into small areas. But this is just the light bit. I'm going to try one whole flower with the different colors before I start repeating myself. So I'm going to put this one back in, and I'm going to go with the slightly darker one, which is the wisteria. And I'm going to color that. I'm just going really gently with the point at the moment onto the inner bits of the flower. It's gone quiet. Side's gone quiet. Something must be wrong in the universe. I will hold this closer up in a minute so that you can see it. But if you've got nice, fresh, juicy pads, then you're going to want to get yourself some sponge daubers from a craft shop. So that's what I've got. I'm sort of angling it away from my craft light so that you can see the colors. Right, so we've got a slightly darker color towards the middle, and I'm going to go even darker at the tips of the petals for some contrast. I'm going to use the warm violet. May have to get me some more of these actually. But this is so much fun. I love doing this. If you are a dab hand at alcohol ink as well, if you're good at using alcohol markers, it might be an option to color these with. But I'm trying it this way because this is the way that was recommended to me on the videos that I watched directly from Heartfelt Creations. So that's what I'm doing here. Here you can sort of see how it's going. I'm losing a bit of my contrast on the light parts though, so I'm not sure if I'm really doing myself any favors here. This pad is falling to bits as well because it's old. Flapping about. Just came off of having a really fun class on Monday with Discover Papercraft at the studio. We made party bags out of envelopes. That was a fun class. If you want to have a look at the pictures, the Unravel and Unwind Facebook page actually has an album called Discover Papercraft, so you can see what we've all been up to in class. There we go. So that is kind of, sort of, colored, sort of. And I've got to do this with a couple more flowers so that I can make the design. I think I will in future be using my alcohol ink markers. It's faster, I gotta say. I mean, I mean, I've got the time to spend today, so that's good, but normally I think I might. And I've also got these great markers from Chameleon, and they make a gradation effect without having to use multiple pens. So I quite like, I would definitely be using those with this. Right, so that's my highlight color on. And my inner wisteria is coming out. Look at these. Now you might be wondering why I'm not coloring the centers. These flowers are going to be overlapped on each other, and that's where the glue is going to go. So, and also you're not going to see a great deal of that part of the flower. You're not going to see any of it really. This pad's just come unstuck. I'm about to get very, very messy. La la la. La la la. Okay. Ah. I don't know how to restick these ink pads, but look, it's come right off. Boom. So this might be the last time I use this. I'm really not sure how one would get that back on. Okay, and let's get our tips colored. Whoop, that's not the one. That's this one. I was like, that looks like it's already been done. Oh, this one's coming apart too. Oh man, I have to work quick and gently. All right. So I've kind of got two sort of shaded and colored in ones anyway. And I'm going to do a third one. Is that smaller? It is. Okay. Smaller, you can kind of afford to. Whoops. Oh. Yeah, that's it. I'm keeping you here. Gravity is going to keep that pad on there. This one is all right. This one's still okay. Kind of wish I hadn't started it using this now. Oh dear. Squishing ink around. That's what's happening today. It's interesting because I got into all the ink because of rubber stamping, but I do find that I do a lot of this, which is direct to paper techniques, without using a stamp at all. Okay, let's see if I can just, yeah, get a little bit in there. Cool. Yeah, I'm just gonna I love these ink pads though. I've been keeping them away from the light, keeping them out of the air as well, making sure they're covered up and kept somewhere closed, just so I can prolong the life of them. I bought them ages ago. I have had them for a long time and they've done me very well indeed. So if this is their death knell, I don't mind, because I got a lot out of them over the years. Okay, that's not quite blended. Let's see, blend it out a little bit. And then next time I do a flower, the next flower I do, I'm going to bring in my markers. and see if we can do this any faster. All right, so that's another one. And one more, just one more. So just do that. This isn't how you'd ordinarily do it. Also, these color box, this brand, they make a small chalk ink pad called a cat's eye, which is like that. And they're kind of, you know, they're good for the direct to paper technique as well. And because the pad is very sponge-like, it works quite well. What color is this anyway? Something violet. I bet that's the same color. Look, it's the same color. It's warm violet. Oh, excellent. Okay, so I've already got this one in a smaller pad. Excellent. In that case, let's get coloring with it. All right, now this one, forgot a petal there, missed one out. This one is going to be the top visible layer of the flower, and I'm going to go in there and I'm going to put some flocking on it. Flocking is like a fuzzy yellowy, well, it's not always yellow, it's whatever color you want it to be really, but it's a fuzzy stuff that sticks on with glue, and it will look like pollen in the middle of the flower. So I'm going to definitely do that. Sorry, I'm just finishing the shading on this one. Like that. Okay, so these are the little leftovers. We are going to do things with the little leftover ones, but for now, I'm just going to cover up my ink. And I'm going to take a little break and quickly run downstairs. If you need to get yourself another drink or something, please feel free to do it. I'm going to have a little BRB. I'm going to go for a few minutes and I'm going to come back. I'm not going to switch the stream off, but I am going to switch my microphone off, and I'll be back in a few minutes. Hey guys, I'm back. Hello. Right, so, oh, Ledger Treasure, hi. Oh, I can't remember. Are you Jane? Am I right? I can't remember if I'm right, but I'm back. I just ran downstairs for a bit, and I'll just do a quick little recap of what I've been up to. I have cut out, and I've stamped and cut out these lovely flowers by Heartfelt Creations. This is from the set Sun-Kissed Fleur. And I have used chalk ink direct from the pad to the paper to give it a bit of a shaded and colored effect. And I've done that with the 4 largest size flowers in the set. And I am now going to shape them. Now, ordinary flower shaping kit that I have is made for flowers that were made using ordinary copyweight paper, which is 80 GSM. This is twice as thick, this card that we're using. And so it's slightly different technique. And I've bought this set, I think I showed it to you last week in my stream from the studio when I was there over a half term, that I got at The Range. The Range is also on our affiliate page. If you would like to order this set online, it is $14.99 from The Range. It is called a Floral Crafter's Tool Set. And it's got several different size stylus tools, and a pair of reverse tweezers, tweezers. And of course it has the molding mat, which is a very dense, squishy foam. So the difference mainly between the thinner paper method and the thicker paper method is that you use water to make the card or the paper a lot more easily shapeable without creasing. So that's what we're going to do today. This is the first time I've ever done it, so there should be plenty of happy accidents in our future today. So I've got with me a spray bottle. This is just an old Airwick spray bottle. It actually came with the house, so I don't know if these are for sale anymore. It's Airwick Aqua Mist. I just refilled it with water several times now. It has the finest mist. I absolutely love this bottle. You can find mister bottles at the pound shop or anywhere, really, drugstores, Wilkinson's, just plain empty ones. But you want to make sure that it sprays kind of a finer mist rather than just blotches. You know, they have their uses too. So if you find that you've bought a blotchy mister, don't worry, okay? The craft community also has them. They're called Mr. Mister, I think. And they're quite good as well, with a fine mist. So that's good to have. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to mist this flower. Not a lot. And I'm just going to kind of blot the water off as well. Now what this does is it softens the fibers of paper. When you're shaping the flower, you're supposed to put it stamped side down. I learned this on the videos directly from Heartfelt Creations, so that's good. And let's just do some basic shaping. So that's this one. And what they say is, I'm going to use this side. I think this side is 8mm tool or 6. I don't know. Are they the same? I don't know. I think this is a 12mm ball, and this is an 8mm ball. So let's use the 8. And what they say is do a little circular motion at the tip here, and then bring it in towards the middle. I might use the bigger one, you know. That's nice. So circular motion at the tip and then bring it towards you like that. And then you kind of have to wait for this flower to dry before you make any further adjustments on it. But I'm just gonna do what they say in the video. Pull it in towards the middle. And what it's doing is it's curling the petals up. That's what you want. So little circular at the tip and then draw it in. That's what I'm doing. It is kind of creasing a bit, but I think it does look all right though. Oop. if it creases too much, I think what you just have to do is like just spray it a bit more. But so once you've done that, you flip it back over, use a smaller ball, and then just press down in the middle here, and then just go around the circle like this in a circular motion like that. It does spin itself if you do it. I like that. And then just press down like that. And that is going to dry up quite nicely. It's given it life, basically. Oh, are you having trouble with Twitch, Jane? Yeah, it might be a busy internet day or something, or maybe it's my end. I don't know, but if anyone's having trouble viewing this right now, please rest easy because it will soon be on the Unravel and Unwind YouTube channel, because that's where it ends up. And I am simultaneously recording and streaming. I just realized as well that I think I've left it on low res from the studio, and I don't have to because I've got a different connection here at home. But let's see, because maybe if I don't stress my connection at home out, it'll work better. So I've misted this flower now, and I'm just going to do the same thing. Large 12mm ball tool, round in a circle a bit and pull, round in a circle a bit and pull, circle and pull, circle and pull, circle and pull, circle and pull, and then I flip it, get the smaller circle, push it down gently, round. See, that's going to look really nice. Okay, I'm going to pop that one up there too. I'm just doing the same thing with all of them. You don't want too much water on it though. That's what she said on the thing. I mean, that is what it's all about. It's just about finding the happy medium. You know, and if the flower is smaller, you know, always try, you know, use a smaller tool. I suppose it's a bit like your fingers, you know, sometimes you don't want to dip your thumb into something because your thumb's too big, you know, and you'd rather use your fingers. It's a bit like that. And round in a circle. And it's nice, when you're done rounding it in a circle, just press it down like that. And it kind of stands up a little bit. Because as you get towards the middle, that's what you want. You want some height on it. And always working printed side down. This is so much fun. Okay, and I think this one's a little bit, it seems to be a little bit smaller, this one. This is going to be my top layer flower as well, this bit here. So this one's going to have something special on it. But for now, just really jamming it in there because the pad can take it. It's all right. It's nice and thick. It's good to have it. Now we'll just give them a little bit of time to dry, and while we're doing that, let me just pop this back in, seeing where it goes. Yeah. Right, just pop that all back. Yeah, now I'm being tidy. Oh dear. All right. So that's going to go over to the side a bit, and I'm going to show you what I've been up to. Now, if you choose to buy these Heartfelt Creations sets, don't throw the packaging out, because if you're going out to a place where you would, you know, crafting with friends or in a group, and you know your space is limited and you don't want to pack your very heavy die cutting system, you can just do some die cutting in advance And you can use this lovely thick plastic packaging to protect them and keep them flat until you're ready to work. And if you want to sort them according to which flower you've cut, it's already on there. So that's how it can work. And then this lovely, the retail labeling actually just slips over the top of that, and the little hanging loop is just here. You can see that, right? Yeah, so it pops through like that. So if you have a little hanging loop somewhere on your wall, you could just hang them until you're ready to use them. You can do a bunch of pre-cutting when you feel like it, and then come back later and start coloring. So that's what I'm going to do today. Now, what I don't know is, are these things meant to be leaves or not? I don't know. Maybe they're just meant to be bits of this, like, you know, like that. I don't know. But I thought I'd practice coloring on these just to see where we can go. So let me grab a couple of markers. Now you can use anything you want, really. I mean, I would steer clear of maybe using full-on watercolors to color this stuff in, unless you are willing to let it sit and get bone dry again. But yeah, it's a bit, be careful with water-based things. But my, sorry, I'm trying to open my very complicated bag that I've designed for my markers here. Okay, so because I like to have a gradient on my flowers and have shading, I'm going to use these. These are chameleon pens. I absolutely love them, and I'll show you how they work. Chameleon pens are simply a double-ended alcohol marker with one color per marker, and you've got a little infusion tip on the marker. So let's take out this purple one, because this sort of matches what we've been doing so far. Now it's a double-ended marker, so you've got this end here, which is like a brush tip, this end, which is a bullet nib, and then over here in the lid with the little window on it, that is just a bunch of clear, just non-colored alcohol ink. So what you do is you take this lid off. Let's use the bullet nib. I feel better about it. Right, so I've taken the lid off the bullet nib, and then this is an infusion chamber, really. So what happens is, as you put that in, the two points touch. So I like to, you must stand it up and just allow the pen to infuse for a little while. You just count. It's seconds, but the first time you do it, each time, the first time you do it takes a little longer. So it's about 10-20 seconds. And what's going to happen is that clear ink is going to go downward into the nib of the pen, and it's going to make it like lighter. And then as you color with it, the darker true color of the pen slowly begins to emerge. Are we done? Yeah, I see it. Okay, so here's what's going to happen, right? You've got a little bit of sort of like a, it's very light, and then as you color, and it's important that you overlap your lines, as you color it gets darker. So can you see there's sort of a gradation there? That is what the marker does. I didn't do it very well that time, but what I have found, and don't tell anybody this, it's our secret, what I did find out is, if you take a couple of pro markers, which is the pen I normally use, and you kiss the tips together for a certain amount of time, you can do the same effect with a blender pen and a pro marker. However, you're just gonna, obviously you've got to worry about contamination and things like that with your blender pen. Whereas these chameleons have each one has their own blender, so it's got its own ink while it's infusing the pen. So let's do this. Let's start back at the light side again, and then we're going to go down And we're going to go very slowly. And it's sorry if you can't see it, but the way they teach you how to do this is to keep the pen almost upright as you color. So there, I've done that. All right, and see, now you've got your gradient there as well. And here, I'll show you what happens because I haven't got all the way back to the true color yet. Let me just scribble it back down. There. Okay. So can you see that? The dark one is the true color of the pen. Chameleon markers, I ordered my chameleon markers from Amazon, and there are a lot of colors, just like there's a lot of colors in Pro markers. I think there's like 72 colors or something like that. They are not cheap. The thing is, these are about the same price, I think, as a single Copic sketch marker, which is the large Copic marker. So really, considering that you can get a gradation from it, it is actually a good price point and a good deal. So yeah, I would say maybe it's worth doing. Yeah, but I like mine. But because I tend to kiss my other markers together, I don't really need to buy any more of these, but I do love them. And the fact that there's a chamber here, it must prevent a lot of the alcohol from evaporating when you have to stand here and wait for the ink to infuse. So I think that the chamber is a brilliant idea. I've been saving up, like, you know, those candies that is like powdered sweets, and it's in a little tube, like a pixie stick. We've got clear plastic ones here, and I've been saving those to make my own blending chambers, but I've never got around to doing it. So, but yeah, these pens are very, very nice. I mean, I would, if you were going to buy them, my advice would be to choose your colors wisely. If you do, for example, if you do a lot of florals, then grab yourself a kit that's got a couple of greens and a couple of jewel tones in, because that will help. What I've got, because I quite like to do florals as well, I bought this. This one's called Cool Tones, I think, and it's got aquamarine, purple grape, sky blue, deep violet, and what's that one? Blue violet. So this is all your like blues and greens. I call this peacock colors because they are found on the peacock. And then I've got this one, which is earth tones, and that's got greens, oranges, and browns. It's all good fun. Right, so you start in the highlighted area too when your pen is still going to be quite light. And I just keep going back and forth like that, and move on by maybe a half a stroke every 2 strokes, just so that it the gradation sort of overlaps, because it's a good way to get it done. Here, let me just, I know I've still got some light color in here, so I'm just gonna, because what you can do, I'm not very good at getting a really smooth gradation on multiple surfaces like the petals and stuff. Waiting for it, waiting for it. Ba, 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 ba. So you take advantage of it. You just use your blending ability there. But that one, I've totally messed that one up. I'm not really good at that. But yeah. There are other ways you can do it. I just made a mess of that one. But yeah. If you get used to it. You do eventually get used to it. I'm going to try and do one entire thing. I'm going to start in the highlighted area, go around, go in toward the middle, And then infuse it again, just a little bit. 1, 2, 3. And do the petals out in the top here, like this. La la la. And then I'll infuse it for a little longer. Oh yeah, Jane, I do prefer using these to a water brush. Yeah, definitely. Plus, if you use a water-based medium to do this technique, you're going to be affecting the fibers of the actual paper, and it's going to change the nature of how you shape it. So it's important. Now, when you're done, you just put the cap back on, and then it won't infuse anymore. So that's how you do that. There's also other ways you can work. I'll show you with my other markers. I've got a lot of alcohol markers. Alcohol markers work with each other in general, so you don't have to worry about mixing your brands or anything. This is 2 shades of purple. You may recognize these, Jane, because you used to use them. You used them last week. And if you're doing a 2-pen blend, then you can just cover up your area with the lightest color. Then you go in and put the darker color in places like that, and then go back over it with the lighter color again, and then it should blend. Now it's going to take a while to blend out and to dry, but you will get a similar look when it's all done and dusted. So that's what I'm doing now. So I do light color all over, strokes of the darker, and then go back over the whole thing again with the light. And you got to do it quick. That's why I'm not doing the whole flower all at once, because you need to do it all when the ink is still wet. So there you go. Quickly. And then back over again to blend. It might look like a bit of a muddy mess right now, but it'll look better in a minute. Also, you need to keep in mind what ink you're using when you stamp onto the paper, because if you used an alcohol-based ink, it's going to get muddy. It's the same as if you were to use a water-based ink with watercolors. It would run. Alcohol will run too if you put alcohol with it. The good thing about this is it's going to dry quick, and it is shaded, so that works too. It just both of these methods do work. It's just it's preference. I like them both, but that's me. I'm just going to color that one here. And they also recommend, when you're using these little ones, if you're going to make a bud out of it, which I am, then they recommend that you color both sides, which this has actually gone through, so you have colored both sides, really. Just coloring a little bit, adding a little bit of dark around the edge. Mix it all up again. Hopefully that will have gone through a bit to the other side. So that. And I'll just do this one again as well. Recently used Sharpies and Pro Markers on washi tape. That is fun. I've not had a chance to, because it's weird. Washi tape isn't something that I really got into, but I quite like it now because of my bullet journal. I like to just decorate the pages with it. Makes it a little more interesting, makes the book look a bit more lived in, you know? I like it. Oops. The other thing is when I hold both the markers, I leave them quite loosely capped so that I can just take them out and use them. I can switch them quickly that way. It's sticking to me for some reason. Just use that. Do a little dark bit. Oh, that one didn't go through. I'm going to have to do the other side of that one. Okay. I'm going all purple today. Right, so all that done. And I guess I should probably shape these ones as well. See, these I have to wait until they dry, and they have dried now. They're, you know, it's good. It's almost like they were never wet. So good news with that. It means we can start to put it together now. So glue, 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 glue. I just had one. I did. Here it is. Little glue stick. These are great. I got 10 of them for a quid. You just take the little cap out. Put the thing back on. And you're done. So I'm just going to put a bit of glue in the middle here. And what you do when you put the petals on, you offset them a little so that all the petals show. Yay! Okay, I'm going to get that pad out again. See, I would always teach my students not to put the glue anywhere near the pad, but if you need to maintain the shape, just be prepared to buy another pad if yours gets gluey, or just use the back. But either way, we'll just stick it together like that, and then we put some more glue in the hull. Sorry, I went off camera there. Hold on, I have an announcement from AVG. Thank you very much, AVG. I don't fancy it, actually, no. Go away. Go away, AVG. Oh, like, remind me again in never. There we go. Okay, so back to what we were doing. So you've got your 2 layers there offset quite nicely. Stick another blob of glue in there. Not too much. They say in the videos for this brand to be generous with the glue, but I often find with wet glue that less is more. So I'm not sure what they meant really by it, but just give it a good press. That seems to have twisted a little. But it's okay, because when you're done with this, all of this, when you're done with all the shaping, you don't have to worry. You can tweak it later, basically. I'm going to, now that I'm on the last bit, I'm going to take my last one. I'm going to put some glue in here, like so. There we go. And I have found my Fun Flock. This is just, it's just flock. Lemonade yellow. It's from Stampendous. And it just looks like fluff, like yellow fluff. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pop a little bit of that yellow fluff in here. Hold on. I need a little scoop or something. Do I have a little scoop? I do not. That's okay. That's okay. We know how to fix this. Okay. Put the paper down. Dump the flock. Dump it. Yeah. I've just dumped a load of it on there, right? Wait for the glue to grab hold of it. And then you top off the excess. And you've got some, look, it's all over me, look. Just looks like there's a little bit of pollen in the flower, basically. That's what you're after. I'm gonna get a little more. I want more pollen in the flower. I'm gonna just scoosh it in there with the ball. It's probably the wrong idea, but I'm doing it. That's brighter, isn't it? Look at that. Wow. So that's a polleny flower right there. And as with anything, you just scoop it back up in the paper, make a funnel, and put it back in the container. Minimum wastage. Cap back on that. Bit of glue inside here. Yeah. I'm gonna get me a smaller ball tool, this one. And I'm going to put my pollinated flower right in the middle, and I'm going to press this whole thing down. And I'm going to wipe this on my trousers to clean it. Oh, cool. Oh, thanks. Jane says she's going to bring me a little scoop for my Fun Flock. Excellent. Right, so that's something you can do, and you have a very lovely looking a flower. Fantastic. And you know, I love making them so much, and then I'm like, oh, it's so nice, I don't want to use it on anything. Which is not the best thing to do, is it? Okay, so what do we do with the little ones? Now that we have colored in these little ones, Well, we can make a smaller flower to start with these ones. So I am going to spray these. Look at that. Okay. Then I'm just going. There we go. And you've got to use a smaller ball tool with a smaller flower, don't you? I was shown a way that you can actually make it kind of crinkly and crumply. So I'm going to try that just by poking it like this. Ugh. So that you're kind of breaking the fibers in all directions. And it makes a really crumply, crinkly looking flower. I learned all this just watching. The best thing you can do is just learn by watching someone. So it's kind of gone a bit crinkly, very crinkly actually. See it? It's all crinkly. And then what you can do apparently is if you squeeze one end and then you use the larger ball tool to just sort of flatten out the rest of it, and it will curl. Then you can make, but I don't like it. I like it the way that I had it before, so I'm just gonna crinkle it and crumple it like this. Just crumple it, crinkle, and then I'm gonna flip it over and I'm gonna make it stick up. So this is a slightly more distressed look. Ooh, I like that. Look at that. Crunchy. Then I'm going to do the same with this one. Hopefully it hasn't dried out too much because I sprayed both the flowers at the same time. Just get that one cupped up a bit as well. I kind of like, yeah, okay. So if we stick that one into that one, I know I was probably supposed to wait until it went a little bit drier than that, but all right, so that is a 2-layer one, and I'm going to make a bud now. And the way that they showed me how to make the bud, first you take your teeny tiny piece. I need to get that wet a bit. Sorry, you can't see me doing that. Okay, I'm going to put it stamped side down onto the mat. I'm going to use, let's see, it's quite a small one, okay. I'm going to use that and just press down once on each petal to sort of cup it. Can't really see what I'm doing here, but I'm pressing on one single petal and I'm pressing it as far down into the mat as I can get it. And then I'm supposed to put a little bit of glue just on each of the petals and kind of get them to really gather up. So Sorry if you can't see it, it's such tiny work. But you just fold one onto the next one so that this one folds up into like a little tiny bud. Okay, so that's the first bit. It's such a little, just a little nugget of a flower. You can't even see that. And here's the next one. I'm just going to lay that like that into the water, and then I'm going to do the same with this one. Right, a little bit of round and round in here like that, and I again do the same thing. So I'm going to get some glue in there, and I'm going to get some glue into, I mean a very small amount, but into each of the petals here. And then I'm going to take my little nugget bud, just there, a bud nugget, and just gently close it around. I can see some of the glue popping up. Right, that's a teeny tiny little piece again, but it's a little bigger than it was. So I'm going to get my tweezers out because this is a pain now to hold. Okay. The good thing about the reverse tweezers, obviously, is when you squeeze them, they open, and when you let them go, they close. So they stay closed until you've put it where you want it to go. I'm just going to put some glue onto the bottom of that. And I'm going to put it in here. So that you get that. So I guess if that one sort of sits next to that one, you've got a little, like a mini thing going on. Thing. That's the technical term I'm using for it. A thing. And I've also got something that I've already cut. There from my botanical, not botanical rose, my classic rose collection is the leaf. So I'm going to use one of my greens, and I think I will go for the olive green. I've got olive green and I've got spring meadow. So I'm going to go for the olive green because I think it'll look nicer with the muted tones. And I'm going to use the bullet nib again, which means I have to take that off. And I'm going to infuse my olive green bullet nib pen for a little while. I'm holding it over here so you can't see it. It's sitting there, it's infusing. Just gotta give it a few seconds. Okay. Yeah. Now you start in the highlighted portion where your colors are lighter, and then as it gets darker, that. Now I'm just using the actual stamping on the leaf as a guide, because where the little lines are is where the shading is. So that's what I'm doing. I start in the highlighted bit, and then I move out away from it into the darker bit. And there's little dark bits here as well. And I'm going to infuse it one more time so I can get some more highlight onto the lighter areas, because this one's running through the gradient quite fast, so I have to be really careful with my blending. I'm going to want to do that again with all these flowers. The thing that sometimes gets me about this, though, is that there's going to be a point, there must be, where these points don't touch anymore within the chamber. And I wonder if there's a way to adjust that. I know that these markers are refillable as well, so you don't have to buy another one when it runs out. But I find that usually by the time you would need to do that, you want to replace the tip anyway, because it's getting a bit, it's getting a bit degraded. Like the tip is getting frayed or flattened or misshapen in other ways. So I don't know. I don't know if I'm jumping on the bandwagon of refillable markers being a plus. Now, replacement tips I could get on board with. Okay. So, here we go. It's the only thing with using this kind of blending technique with the chameleon pen is you do sit and you wait a little while. But, patience is a virtue. And if you are a skilled practitioner of mindfulness, then you know that will give you time to breathe. So I suppose it's a good thing. In here. More infusing for more gradient. Light color first, dark color next. Just sitting here looking at it. I hope these pens are still making contact. Actually, I think I'm going to color all of this in. These little tendrils are driving me nuts. I think I'm just going to color the whole thing. You cut them off. Pro markers have fine nibs separately available, but mine went unused too long and the tips went moldy? That's gross. What, like before you even put them in the pen? Ooh. You cut them off. Don't like that one. This one's still like the highlighted bits are too light for me. So I'm going to take them back to look more like those. Which means I have to get it right back to its pastel state. There we go. That's better. It still looks quite light on the camera. But no, that's all right. I'm happy with that. Sort of. Maybe not. Now go on. Yeah, that's better. Okay. It's still not showing up like on the screen. But okay. Let me just make sure it's all yeah, it's back to normal. Whoops, I just put it in the infuser again. Okay. Regular cap on. There. So that one's probably put away. So I do like little tendrils. They are nice. And that's just gonna make lovely, like just a resting place for the flowers there. Just a little backgroundy thing. Don't know which way I should do it. I suppose that one. It's gonna cover up anyway. Look, it's gonna cover up one of my flowers any way I do it, really. Yay. So that there is what I've made with my playtime today. Yay! Ah, and it is nearly 1 o'clock, which means I need to find some lunch for myself. Happy foraging if that's what you're doing as well. Thank you for joining me, especially you, Jane. There's a lovely, embarrassing picture of Jane on Facebook if you want to go and see it. I think it looks great. She pulled a little grumpy face yesterday when we were playing around with our party bags, and that is still up there despite her pleas to delete the picture. But I think it's funny, and you know, pictures of me on there are definitely not flattering, so I think you're the winner there. You've come out on top. So I have been Sai, and this has been. Oh, you did? Aw, I guess you can't see the embarrassing picture now because it's definitely gone. Aw, Jane. That's all right. It will live in my memory. I got a photographic memory. I'll always remember. But now no one else can see. Boo. Party pooper. But anyway, I'm Sai. I'm here on behalf of Unravel and Unwind in my own studio on a Tuesday. And if you'd like to come down and see what we're all about, please do. We are at 337 to 341 High Street in Rochester. And we are opposite a kebab shop and a dentist. And it's kind of, you've got to really have your wits about you because we're set back from the road a little bit. But if you're coming from Chatham, you go down around the corner past Spoon if the road's open again. And you keep going until you're almost back at the bottom of Star Hill, but not quite. And we are on the right. And the building is called Intra. And there is a map on our website, so do take a look. And we've got a lot of events coming up. Check the Facebook page for that. Just search for Unravel and Unwind CIC on Facebook and you will find us. And if you're going to be doing any shopping, obviously, please do check out our affiliate links on our page. And I don't have the little thingy that I had here before that I used to put down in front. Oh, is this it? Yes, I got it. So organized. Please help us out. Keep us open. Go to unravelandunwindcic.wordpress.com and click places where we shop. Amazon is on there, so pretty much anything you want you can buy through there. Also, Hobbycraft Deramores for yarn and various other things. Hobbycraft The Range, Waterstones if you're in the mood for a book, or any other cool stuff that's sold at Waterstones. What else? What's The Range, Hobbycraft, Waterstones? Oh, Twinings Tea! So if you're interested in all the different kinds of tea, your supermarket may not be stocking the entire Twinings range, so have a good look, and sometimes they've got sales on. So shop there, get your tea online, and help keep us open. I've been Cy, and I have been thrilled to be playing with my new toys with you today. Any questions at all, please get in touch, and hopefully we will see you very soon. Bye, everybody. There we go. Oh yeah, sorry, forgot to say, follow our channel to find out when we're back again. Click the little heart and you will get a text when we're on. See you later.